fast to the Lord and you got to pray, man, for that understanding. And the Lord already said that his sheep is going to hear his voice and they're going to follow him. So basically the ones that are chosen, they're going to follow the right teachers, man. They're going to actually go through different phases where they learn from different doctrines, different Israelite camps, and the Spirit is going to make them choose the correct camp, man. You know? And that's what happened, man. The Lord will send you on that journey. All right? So, was that it on that?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go back to that.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again.
Yeah, before you call yourself a teacher, one has to teach you first. Okay? You have to learn it. A man of the Lord endowed with the Spirit, he has to be the one to show you and teach it to you and break it down to you. Matter of fact, you started off with that when you called Acts the 8th chapter, man. The example of the Ethiopian eunuch when Apostle Philip came to him, and he caught him in his chariot reading Isaiah the 53rd chapter. And when he saw him, he looked on him. He said, "Understandest thou what thou readest?" And he said, "No." But how could I unless some man guide me? So that means a man of understanding got to be the one to show you. All right, but you're going to have men that are false, that are not sent by the Lord, that's going to try to teach you, and they're going to lead you astray. Okay? Go ahead, Adam.
Which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High.
Yeah, that's the first principle of the oracles of the Most High, man. Meaning when you come up as a child, the first thing you do is you come up under tutors. Teachers, man. It tells you that in the law. Deuteronomy, was that the 6th chapter? We're supposed to teach our young men in the law.
Fourth.
Deuteronomy 4.
It's in there also.
Come on, man. That's the first.
Sons throughout all generations.
Come on. You know. So hey, that's the first learning process. Is you got to be taught, man. You know. Go ahead.
And are become such as have need of milk and not a strong meat.
And you need milk, man. That's what's going to give you your nourishment. You need the milk first, because that's something that you, as a baby, you're able to handle. You're not on a level to handle solid food yet. You know, you don't even have the teeth to chop it down and to stomach it, man. You know. Well, that's going into the doctrines, man. There's certain doctrines that you need to hold off from and learn the basics first before you get into the deep understanding of the scriptures, man. You know, like this guy, he was stumbling over the 12 tribe sign. Well, it could be milk to him if he was actually paying attention and had the patience of learning it and getting the understanding and doing more prayer. This will become milk to him. He'll be able to receive it like milk. You know?
And he only seemed interested in, the so-called Negroes. Man. He didn't, inquire about the other tribes, man.
Right.
That's, he was still stuck on that black shit.
Exactly.
He knew so much about the black consciousness.
Right.
He knew all into that, though.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't find this script right now. Where's the one that said,
Finish where you was at.
Verse 13, Hebrews 5 and 13, for everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe, but strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
And so he that useth milk is more unskillful in the word, man. Meaning you still have to grow. You still have to. It takes a lot of repetition of reading the scriptures to get it instilled into your mind. Hey, we still do that, man. You still got to go over scriptures that you ain't read in a while, man, because sometimes it could escape you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna still be unskilled in that aspect of you know, handling certain understandings in the scriptures, man. You know. So that's why you stick to the basics, and then once you come up on a level, then you go back to the meat. Okay.
And then a lot of times, but a lot of times that meat will have milk clues in there. Like it's like any algebra problem. I love using a math analogy because math is a Hebrew word that comes from the Hebrew word truth, which is amah.
Yep.
So I like using algebra. When you know how to do an equation, you got to know how to do before you can do A plus B equals C times X, Y, Z or whatever. Before you got to know what those variables are. Then you got to know A plus B. How you got to know addition. You got to know all of those things first. So you need to know the easy stuff, the little addition, subtraction stuff before you can start dividing and carrying and moving over here and inputting this and that, making it more complex. You got to know the simplicity of it first. Once you got that foundation of simplicity, it's easy just to plug in the equations and you can see the big picture.
And you got to know the formula before you solve it.
Exactly.
You got to know the formula before you start to solve it, man. You know. And that's you know, that's one part of the fundamentals of this truth, man. Is being humble and receiving the knowledge. Get taught, and then once you've received it, then you become a teacher. You come up on a level and you start teaching others, man. You know.
Where's that at?
Timothy, 2 Timothy 2.
2 Timothy, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that.
The second
You could tell that dude didn't want to be taught.
Yeah.
He just Jake automatically feel like they should already have the understanding. Like I'm supposed to know what this understanding is. Nah, man, you not really.
Right.
Not
right.
really.
Bro, this ain't for everybody.
Because
Just
this ain't
you're a certain age
you
don't mean you're supposed to get it.
exactly, man.
You can study a lifetime. You can study this for a lifetime and never get it.
It's a reason why them niggas in the prison, they'll read this for 20, 30 years and still don't have the understanding, man. They done read it from cover to cover. They can recite scriptures, you know, front to back. They could do all that. They could know exactly where the scripture at. But once you actually go in and question them regarding certain breakdowns, understandings, they showed right then and there that they really don't have it, man.
They say in Proverbs, I think it's the 4th chapter, get wisdom, therefore with all thy wisdom, get understanding. It does you no good if you don't have understanding. Like you said, wisdom is how to apply your knowledge, right?
Yep.
Wisdom is understanding when to apply that knowledge. You know, where and when. That's the whole process of it. If you don't understand the process, if you can't use it in your daily life that it makes sense, you know, in your everyday life, then you don't have full understanding of it.
Yep.
You was reading that already?
2 Peter 2:2.
Yeah,
As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby.
Yep.
Read that again.
As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby.
Yeah, that you may grow. All right? That you may, increase. You know?
Baby don't come out the womb chewing lamb. You know what I mean?
Right.
Come out on milk, and the milk has different textures, as I'm sure you know. You know, different textures when it come out. You know, it start off watery with a lot of nutrients. Then it starts thickening a little bit. You know, and having more nutrients in it, helping them grow. And you just stay on that small level, and it's okay. It's okay. If you look at the apostles that teach us, they stay hitting on milk topics, but they have the skill to be talking about something milk, and then throw you a little bread, a little bit of water, a little bit of meat on it, that you can get edified and full off of it, so to speak. That you can really grow. You can see how it links you to the greater understanding of it.
Yeah, like example, milk is, all right, all the scriptures, read all the scriptures where it say Israel is going to be saved.
Yeah.
So that you know that, oh, okay, so the scriptures say Israelites are only going to be saved. And then that same person be like, all right, I see all the scriptures where it say Israelites is going to be saved. But I'm reading right here, it says that the Jew and the Greek, you know, what about that? So that becomes a little more challenging for you. Be like, damn, I don't really understand, you know, because even though the scriptures say all Israel's gonna be saved, but yet it's talking about the
Well, it said there's no
the
difference.
Gentiles,
There's no difference
between the Jew nor a
Yeah,
Greek.
kind.
You know, well, that's where you gotta get more nourishment.
Yeah.
You know, or so okay. So if the Lord is saying that all Israel shall be saved, who are these Gentiles then? Then you start to go further into it. All right. So when you talk about the Gentiles, that's when you start getting you go into the precepts, because it tells you, King David said it. He said, "Through thy precepts I get understanding."
Yep.
So who are these Gentiles? Then you go and look up the word Gentile. You go into what it means, in which you look it up. It has two different meanings. Sometimes in the Greek it means a Hellenist, a Hellenin, which was basically back then. This was a Jake who was in a Greek state of mind. All right, he was under the Greek fashion, but he was an Israelite by lineage,
By bloodline.
just like Timothy's father. All right. Now,
Because the answer is, you have now, when you go into that other precept in Isaiah 47, 19 and 20, says, I've now dealt so with any other nation.
right.
Only, so how is Timothy, if Timothy got it, but his father's a Greek, how is that?
Exactly.
Because you have to, through extrapolation,
Yep.
you have to understand that he was an Israelite living in,
Right.
in Greece. So,
And the more studies you doing, you get these scriptures, and you put two and two together. Now that what you thought was meat is now starting to become more tender. Now you can start chewing it.
the teeth are getting stronger.
Your teeth are getting stronger because now your understanding is becoming to get widened, man.
I got something real heavy but quick, just for us, kind of. If you may receive it if you got the ears, but think about it. What happens when it gets down in your belly? It's bitter, right? Your stomach acids, which are bitter, now can break down that to digest it. For you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But but what happened? You have to be bitter in your belly.
Yep.
So anyway, but I got to appreciate you what you're saying. Isaiah 28 and 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. That you have that basic level of understanding of the simplicity of the scriptures already going on.
Yep.
Once you have that, then you can start to graduate to higher levels of understanding. From something as simple as milk, now you can go to water. Okay, so now my body can handle water. Okay, then after that, I'm still getting a steady dose of diet of milk. Now I'm getting water. Now I'm getting a steady diet of water and milk. Now I can add a little bit of bread to it. Now, as that keeps going, now I'm making a little bit of a nibble of meat, pre-chewed down for me or whatever. And then finally I can start eating bigger parts. Now I can digest it all. But you gotta have them other milk, water, and bread to go with it though. Don't think you're just gonna jump right to the meat. You gotta start crawl before you walk.
Levels to this thing.
Levels, right. And then you said to my precepts, right? It says, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Hey, and when you're doing that, go from there to 2 Timothy 2 and 15.
I think I'm holding it.
That's basically how you do it.
Yep, I'm holding it, bro.
What do you call it? Hebrew hopscotch, bro.
Hebrew
Yeah.
hopscotch.
2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Now go back to the Isaiah 28.
Yep.
How do you rightly divide the word of truth? Go
It
ahead.
says, for precept must, this is Isaiah 29:10, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Also, when another level of that studying, once you get into the deeper stuff, it tells you right in the Apocrypha, in the prologue of Sirach, that you got to go into these other languages. You got to go into the Hebrew, into the Greek, into the Latin, into the etymology of words.
Yeah.
To get the full understanding of what these scriptures is talking about. That's more. Did you go now?
John 5 and 39. Search the scriptures, for in them ye think ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me.
Yep, the scriptures are what's going to testify of the Lord. That's how you know it's true. because it all lines up with what the scriptures say about it. Because the spirit of the Bible is the spirit of prophecy, the spirit of our Lord, the spirit of prophecy. It says, for with the, back in Isaiah, you got something too, Brian? Okay.
Where is that in the Apocrypha where it says wisdom coming by leisure?
Oh, God, that's
Yeah.
Somewhere
It's like in the 20s or 30s, I think, I believe.
It's further in.
Because that's part of that, man. Having that free time to read, because the scriptures tell you, the Lord said it, blesses he that readeth. So you got to put a lot of reading in, man.
Faith comes by hearing the word. Right?
Yeah.
So how do you hear it? You read it, you hear it in your mind.
Yep.
Let me keep reading this while they're getting that. This is going now?
This is Sirach 38 and 24. The wisdom of a learned man.
38.
The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise.
Yeah. Meaning you're focusing most of your time on reading. All right. You giving your mind. You meditate. You giving your mind to the law.
At the Ethiopian unit, which was a Jake, right?
Yeah.
He had free time. He was chilling on the chair.
Yep.
Let me get in this and start reading a little bit. You know? And then what happened? Philip came along and asked him, and then what happened? He got it broken down to him.
Yeah.
So he got more understanding, because if he'd have been sitting there just chilling, throwing rocks or something, you know, Philip would have never came and gave him the breakdown.
Or he could have been proud and said, "Oh yeah, I know what I understand it." You know.
Yep. But he was humble.
Yep.
Yeah, that was it, right? That was it, right? Yeah. Back in Isaiah 29 and 28 and 11, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. And one way that I always thought about this scripture, and you can break it down the right way, but the way I always thought about it was, it's going to be a different way of thinking that you hadn't thought before. It's going to be a way of understanding that you wasn't given any other place, but through this word. Because reading like a love novel gives you one level of something, you get a lightweight level of it. But when you jump precept to precept, you get the full understanding of everything going on in you. With somebody edifying you with the breakdowns of it. Verse 12, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. It's funny because you look around and everybody around you in the world, they kind of got this distress. I got to hurry up and do something. You can see them thinking about something, somewhere to go, something to do, something they forgot.
Yeah.
Ants with no food, nowhere to really go. Us, we kind of have a focus look in our eyes like, okay, this is what I'm doing now. I know what this is. I got to do this. I'm not going over there.
Right.
I'm going, it's a different look.
Why? Because we're single-minded.
Yep.
You know, we're focused on the prize. You know, the Most High has put the Spirit in us to where we know what we have to do. Everybody else is searching for something to do, but we know that we gotta stay in the scriptures. We gotta study. We gotta go into the Hebrew. We gotta fellowship. We gotta do all these things because what we want salvation. So we're gonna do whatever it takes to earn it.
We're gonna stay on that path.
God, that straight gate. We're gonna go through. We ain't gonna, as it says, fire to the left. It's like water to the left and the fire on the right hand, and we're going straight through, not trying to fall or stumble on either side. That's the path we on.
Quick precept, back you up. Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Well, everybody's searching for it, and they can't find it. We look like, we ain't worried about it. We know what it is. We got it. We know you searching for. Somebody asked me that before. You searching for something in life? No. It was like, what? The answer you probably was expecting was yes. No, I know what I'm looking. I found what I'm looking for.
Because Jake was gonna try to tell you his.
He gonna give me some angle to follow after.
Yeah.
Ain't that? Anyway, back in Isaiah 28 and 13.
Yeah, but you know what they in their search, they end up finding what they think is the truth.
Yeah.
But what their truth is not
true.
the truth.
Or what they think their purpose is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They end up running into that strange woman.
Yep.
They end up running into Miss Cleo.
Enter ye in here. or the dead are here.
They end up running into Erykah Badu and shit, you know? And they get turned out and they think they found the truth.
Yeah.
But that ain't what, you just found the path to hell, man.
Yeah.
You know?
You look, what it said in that, is that Proverbs 9?
Proverbs like 7, I think,
I think it's like 9.
about the strange woman.
Yeah, there's a couple of strange women in there, but I'm talking about the one where it said, stopping them that go right upon their ways.
I got to read. This Proverbs 13 and 4. The soul of the sluggard desireth and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat.
Go back to like 9. I think it's 9.
13, 9?
No, 9 and like 13.
God.
No, 13 in chapter 9?
That's the 13 and 9.
What does it say?
It's talking about a foolish woman.
Yeah,
Oh.
read that.
God. This Proverbs 9 and 13. A foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth at the door of her house.
Hey, these very philosophies is always waiting to offer you in. They sit right there, they're available for you. They're always available. You know? Just like a harlot would be, a strange woman or a foolish woman, so they're available for you. We know where to find them. You know where to find the strange physical women. Well, same way you know how to find strange doctrines. Go ahead, bro.
For she sitteth at the door of her house on the seat in the high places of the
They
city.
got commercials. They got come to the temple, come learn. They got evangelists walking around telling you. And they got the whole look laid out of this is what we talking about. I'm smart. I got this. Like Brother Poe, like prime example. He got the damn eye thing on his. I forgot what kind of eye that is. Painted on his face.
Makeup.
Yeah, God, like, yeah, the eye of horse. He got that on his face, so you know what he about. It's easy to find them ways, but the real wisdom, you gotta search for her. You gotta be like, no, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Oh, here goes something real. This is it. This has gotta be it. Then you try it, and it will try you back. And you find out it's the truth. Go ahead, bro.
For she sitteth at the door of her house on the seat in the high places of the city.
Hey, where she can be seen. Go ahead.
To call passengers who go right on their ways.
As they're going right on their ways, they already looking for the truth. But then they call them in. No, turning hither. It's funny. It's gonna say turn over here.
That's those different winds of doctrines.
Exactly.
That's, you know, you got Islam over here. They come to the mosque,
Yep.
brother. You know, with the
Get the final call.
get the final call.
Jehovah's Witnesses passing out pamphlets to you.
You got the 5%er. Hey, God, you know you God, right? You got to hear that shit.
You know supreme mathematics.
You know, yeah.
You know.
And this nigga over here, yeah. You know the black woman is God. You know. So, you know, I mean, it's just all type of bullshit, and these different avenues that Jake in their daily life when they live, they got to come across all this shit, man. You know.
And so when we see people like that, it's like, okay, we ain't blaming you for not knowing, because we know you got a lot of shit to sift through. But guess what? We upset with you because you can't see that this is the truth. That you don't see the value. Like, you came up here and you got an answer, a real answer. You've been searching for this answer for 9 years. But you just got it answered in 9 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, and you gotta go? Where you gotta go that's more important than that? What if this is never here again?
He was creating his own, bro. Creating his own doctrine.
Yeah, that's what he trying to do, right?
It's more of this.
Yeah.
Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. And that's for him that
Hey,
wants.
how long you gonna want simplicity, man? Whoso is simple, turn in hither. What you saying?
No. Read that
Who
part
is
again.
simple, let him turn in hither. And as for him that wanteth understanding, she said to him, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant.
Go from there to Romans 16 and 18, real quick.
This Romans 16.
Because it says, whosoever is simple, he's going to be taken by it.
Romans 16 and 18. For they that are such serve not our Lord Yahweh Shai, but their own belly.
Their own bellies. They all got their own hidden agenda and motives. They all trying to get paid off of deceiving you simpletons out there, man. All right? They form scams out of their own little belief systems, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Look what I got, you don't got.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But by their own belly and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
You read that part again?
Yeah.
But by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
Hey, these same demons that trying to get you to come into their religion or to take on their philosophy, they have the gift of gab of knowing how to speak eloquently to you. And they know how to present it in a way where it's very convincing to you. And a lot of our people, they start to get caught up in how a man speak and his image, and that alone causes our people to become what you would call
Cult of personality.
they become fascinated.
Fascinating.
They become fascinated by it, man. You know, and it make them want to come in and follow that.
But not for the wisdom that they think that person has, but to be able to do what just happened to them.
Yeah.
To convince others with that fair speech and that godly garments that they wear.
Like the Christian church, like they preach that prosperity.
Yeah, they sell you a dream.
Yeah, sell you. Yeah.
And then what they do, they use you and make you. What does it say in I don't know if it's Timothy, where it says that they make
something there.
they make merchandise of you.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they make their merchandise of you. They sell you a long story. They tell you about their life. They like to give you a good ass lecture.
I gotta bring up what Tommy said about the church.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was that he said how many times we gotta see these pastors talking about this stuff, and we thinking, and they got you thinking God gave them all these riches, but the riches came straight from the broke ass people that they've been robbing.
Yeah.
You know, not giving them no understanding of nothing. God ain't gave that. You gave this pastor all this money. You know?
And the pastor is teaching them lies, you know, because there ain't nothing wrong with, helping, helping the man of the Lord if he teaches the truth.
Right.
You know, you're supposed to help him out.
Yeah, you're doing your
You're supposed to pay your tithes or whatever, but these false pastors, they not teach you the truth of the Heavenly Father, man. They teach you lies, man. That's the thing.
They tell you sweet things to make you feel good, and in your mirth of feeling good, you're quick to pass out money. So he said, Pastor I used to go to church. Pastor, he have a sermon like every other few months, man. Like every 2-3 months, he'd always have that sermon. You know, God can do many things, but he want to make sure his congregation, is invested in him. So he got to make sure the lights stay on. You know, like, I need more money from you type deal. I'm like, come on, man. We work on miracles. You got to ask for money out here? Come on. That was it on there?
Somebody get 2 Peter 2. 2 Peter 2 and start at 1.
2 Peter 2 and 1. It says,
because these different men, these false prophets, they're gonna call you into a strange doctrine. That's that strange wisdom or that strange woman. Okay? And their job through the spiritual demon Satan is to cause you to go to the left and to the right instead of to go on the path, man. All right? Their job is to lead you away from the Lord, away from the Lamb.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then wisdom will let them try you.
Yep.
It says, but there were false prophets. This is 2 Peter 2 and 2. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, and denying the Lord Yahweh, that brought them, and bringing upon themselves swift destruction.
Yep, so you're going to have a lot of men that's going to be teaching against the truth. You're going to have guys just out of nowhere just springing up. And these going to be dudes that literally, they ain't even out on the streets. There's guys that ain't even on the streets, and they got a big following.
Yep.
How you get over 100,000 subscribers, and you ain't been out on the streets at all?
Yeah.
And on top of that, we don't see no videos we don't see your face, we don't even know what you look like, but you have all these doctrines and you happen to be teaching against the scripture, against the doctrines of men that are actually out there on the front line, man.
They're presenting the truth to you.
You know? So you're gonna have that. These guys, whether they paid for it by Esau, because you know Esau, he gotta get involved. He gotta his basically what it talks about his devices, you know, because his whole job is to disrupt this ministry, man. So he's gonna set up certain guys. He's gonna bribe them, give them that Judas purse, and they're gonna be trying to come up with doctrines to bypass the true established doctrine that's already out, man. You know?
They're gonna come with new breakdowns, and this
All
don't
type
mean
of
that's
shit, yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have like false history to try to back it up.
And he gonna have proof. Like you going to the, if you run around, if you see somebody that watch the History Channel a lot and do the Bible breakdowns, the Bible mysteries explained and revealed, and if they watching a lot of that, but they don't know these scriptures, stay away from that dude, man. Cause they gonna take Esau's word for everything he say, and they gonna be indoctrinated with all that BS, man.
Yeah, like that flat Earth situation.
Yep.
That
prime
literally
example.
turned into a doctrine because of some shit Esau put out there.
Yep.
Ever since he put that out there,
It's really
Jake
a
ran
belief.
wild with it.
It's really a
That
belief.
became an actual belief, man. That took a lot of guys out of the faith.
Yep. Out of the faith, took a lot of guys from thinking, from common sense of knowing, oh yeah, the earth is round, to now they really believe that the earth is flat.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, when he put that on the internet, he dropped it heavy. All of a sudden, there was a lot of videos on flat earth, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And everybody was, so you click on one, you'd be 2-3 hours watching flat earth videos. And, oh, that makes sense when I watch it with now they gone.
Yep.
Verse 2, and many shall follow their pernicious ways by reason.
Pernicious ways.
Yeah, pernicious.
Yep.
Yeah, pernicious ways.
Which means destructive.
Yep.
They're gonna follow them unto their destruction, man.
Pernicious ways, yeah, kind of.
Go ahead.
And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of.
And that goes into how it says our people, they're not going to endure sound doctrine.
Yep.
They're going to be heaping to themselves with itching ears. They're going to be wanting to listen to seducing spirits. Guys that speak with conviction, they kind of charming.
Yep.
They know how to speak, like that nigga Polite. He knows how to speak very well. He'll sell a nigga a container of shit. But as long as he know how to package it right, he'll sell it.
Like Obama seduced our people, the way he spoke and carried his way. His stature.
And
so
really sold us a bunch of executive orders, man, and gay pride.
Exactly, man. So that's what that's going into, man. Yeah, and they'll have you speaking evil of the truth. Because actually, there's been men who actually knew this truth, but they got seduced by doctrines of devils, man. Guys that's not even a part of this thing, and they're just teaching crazy bugged out doctrines, and they get their doctrines from misinformation. They go on this little pseudo research, and they find out these we call them pseudo scholars, where they think that they deep, but they going into sources, and they're not even cross-referencing those sources, man. And they think that there is the gospel. Like for example, the Josephus, there's valuable information in there, but we also know that there's some bullshit in there, man. But you got guys that take certain things that's mentioned in the Josephus, and they make that the gospel, man.
And another one is
they try to use that to say Job is an Edomite.
Yeah, the book of Enoch.
Right.
That's another one. Oh, because Enoch is written in the scriptures a couple times. It's got to be a part of. But do it line up with this? Did the Holy Bible say? No.
And then all of a sudden
that becomes the most important book now, right?
Yeah.
That's the book that trumps the big book that it's supposed to be in. That's the one that we hold to. And when the book of Enoch, it says
Right.
But it don't say that in the Bible.
Right.
Everything in the Bible, like the Apocrypha, everything in the Bible lines up. With the Apocrypha in the Bible, everything lines up. The 1611 completely lines up beginning to end. If you know where to apply it. But there's things that just directly contradict in these other books. The Book of Mormon directly contradicts the Holy Bible. But they always want to mate it with the Bible. They'll give it validity with the Bible, then they'll set the Bible as a valid book away, and now let's just read from the Book of Mormon, when you really want to understand it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been an apocrypha if Esau wouldn't have took it out and hid it from the people.
Right.
But the apocrypha means hidden.
Yeah, in the way, yeah. Keep reading, right?
That's another thing that Islam, they like to quote from the scriptures,
Yeah.
but then they want to go right to the Quran and start dealing with the Quran. But your Quran says, no, we got to deal with this book.
Yeah.
So why don't you put that damn book down and read the scriptures?
Yeah.
You know? But hey, you know, that's how they
caught
do
up in that doctrine of that's the white man, but the white man gave us that. It destroyed our people for all these years. And that, you know what? So that is true. It has. With the wrong understanding. But with the proper understanding, it's going to save us. It only destroyed you that didn't get it. I was still holding that.
The white man gave the Muslim
Yeah, bro,
niggas.
I want you to finish
I'm
that.
gonna finish that.
Yeah, finish
I just
that.
see if I still have it. I do. Kind of. Verse 3. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 3, it says, and through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you.
That right there.
That line right there.
That right there, man. And that's what they've known to
That
do.
part.
A lot of these fake leaders, and these men that call themselves, teachers, professors, doctors, whatever they want to call themselves, that's what they do. With feigned words, make merchandise of you. When you look that up, that's talking about they use sensationalism.
Yeah.
All right,
Fancy clothes.
Yeah,
jewelry,
gone.
all things that have no real value.
They try to get you with words of deceit, man. They give you a fabricated life story to sell you, man. They captivate you, and that's like a lot of those women that go to those churches. They get captivated by those fake phony pastors, because he tells them some little bullshit successful story where it started off where they was struggling and they went through this and went through that. They kept on praying and sending up prayers to the Lord and this and that.
Blessed them.
And then all of a sudden they got blessed and the Holy Spirit came down.
Money came with it, with the Holy Spirit, and handed them a bag of money. And now I got all these
Now
shoes.
I got these gator boots on and this fresh
She up there with the crease.
two-piece, crispy and
like
right
that,
out the
right
cleaners.
At the eye level.
Yeah, man. Hopping in my
Jewels and Cadillacs. And,
my Mercedes Benz.
My wives.
Yeah.
Doing all of that. Wife is the prettiest woman at the church. Like, come on, man. I ain't got nothing.
And then a lot of people, some people end up in the congregation, they always come out and say, nah, man, don't listen to this motherfucker. He's lying.
Yeah.
I know this motherfucker, man.
Yeah, I grew up with him.
I know him. He's lying, man. He's pimping you.
Yeah.
And then you always hear about some scandal that end up exposing them any damn way.
Yeah.
What Christian church ain't had a scandal?
Exactly.
It come with it.
Exactly.
It comes a part of it.
That happens every time, man. And then the same thing happens with them niggas in the unconscious community. Polite. All this shit this nigga been talking, come to find out, this whole shit is a scam.
Yep.
Everything, literally everything. Everything, man. This nigga that got packages.
Yeah.
This nigga done received the package, off of you simple ass
We
Negroes,
got
man.
the motherfucking books. We opened them up. You owe this man $70,000.
And that ain't the only dude. That's just the
he
one that.
dude.
That ain't the only one, man. This dude done received tens of thousands of dollars from multiple people, man.
Yeah. Dumbass people too. You people dumb as hell giving that nigga your money. I ain't even mad at him polite no more. I'm mad at you how stupid you ass people are.
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't give this nigga $1 if I dropped it. If I see him, get away from my
Or
nigga.
matter of fact, that nigga owe me $1.
Yeah, for real.
For real.
Hell no.
But this is what the scripture's saying. You gotta watch out for that. And that's why those type of spirits is out there leading Jake away from the Most High, man.
They're undesirables, man.
You know?
You don't want them.
The only ones that's gonna seek and actually find are the elect.
That's right.
They're not gonna get caught up in by the seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. They're gonna actually hear the voice of the Lord through the prophets out there, man.
Right.
You know?
Let me read again, verse 3. It says, and through covetousness, what is covetousness? It's wanting something that don't belong to them.
Yep.
Shall with feigned words make merchandise of you.
Make hella money, man.
Yep.
They call it filthy lucre.
Yep.
That's what they doing it. That's what motivates them. Really, it ain't them trying to give you the knowledge. They like to say that my job is to just give you the knowledge, and you take whatever you want with that, and you do with that, and make yourself successful. Nah, man, they doing that because they know that you people have itching ears. You want to be tickled. You love hearing shit, man.
Yep.
Shit that sounds fancy to you.
And another thing that they like, I noticed about Jake, they want it to sound easy. If it sounds like it's easy to do, Jake is wait, it's like a get rich quick scheme type deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's easy to do but pays big dividends, oh, I want that.
Yeah.
I'm all in with that. They'll pay any amount of money to get it, right? Not realizing who said it the other day? I think it might have been Elder Yashua, but I forgot who said it exactly. They said, when has anything good been easy, and when has anything that came easy been good? When does that ever happen? It don't happen. It don't come like that. To get something worthwhile, it takes hard work, and it's hard to do.
That's right.
It says, make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not.
Yep.
For if
And that's, so basically all those dudes, those scammers out there, they're gonna get their judgment. Okay? The Most High, he got something special for their ass, man. But he was letting the church know, hey, there's guys like that out there.
Yep.
In the last days, there's gonna be a lot of false prophets and false teachers out there. And those are a representation of those strange philosophies, those strange doctrines, man. Be not carried away with diverse, strange doctrines, man. Get Ephesians 4 and 14.
Yeah, man. I want to make a real small point, just to say it as an admonishment. Sakari, man, like, we can't tell if you sincere or you trying to make merchandise.
The hell with Sakari, man.
I'm just saying.
The hell with that dude.
I'm just saying, like, he go out and teach, but we can't tell what your true motivations are.
He ain't sincere.
It should be easy to know. It should be easy to know that you sincerely want to wake up our people and wake up the elect. I just wanted to say that so there's no excuse.
It's Ephesians 4 and 14, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive.
Where they lie in wait to deceive. All right? That's those charlatans, man. What was that? Acts 20, it says, you're going to have those that are going to depart from us, and they're going to basically not spare the flock, and they're going to try to heap unto themselves disciples unto them. They're going to try to gain a following, But these are men that were, what they call them, heretics, man. A heretic is somebody that goes against the established doctrine. Why do you think Peter was constantly warning about receiving another gospel, man? He said, if there's a man, even an angel, if he comes and teach not this doctrine, you better not receive it. Let that man be accursed. Colossians, was that? I think it's either 2 or 3. Check 2, Colossians 2 and 8.
It's Colossians 2 and 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, be careful, man. Because these men, they know how to really dress it up and make it sound appealing. And next thing you know, you falling away from the grace of the Most High.
Hey, and I kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier about the rudiments of the world. I didn't say that, but they'll fashion it in a way that's appealing to your carnal nature that you're used to. And they'll use that, and that'll be, oh, okay, I get it, because that's what I can identify with that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how they'll pull you away.
Yeah. Like Jake getting on this black shit.
Yeah.
Israelites that know better, they get involved with being black, man. They still calling Jake black. They still call themselves black Hebrew Israelites. That's part of the rudiments of the world, man.
Yeah.
That's actually of the world. To be black, that's of the world, man. You know, because now you're opening yourself up to black culture. Black culture don't mix with Hebraic Israelite culture, man. It doesn't mix at all. So you're telling our people to still mind the ways of black culture, even though we're supposed to be calling ourselves Israelites.
Can I say this? Black culture breeds niggas. Hebraic culture or heritage breeds kings.
And then when you call yourself a black Hebrew Israelite, it's like you're trying to make the two interchangeable, where now niggas are starting to call themselves Israelites. So now you got niggas talking about, what was that song, Judah, that one nigga on World Star, he made a rap song, shoot that nigga, kill that nigga, I'm a Hebrew, I'm an Israelite, or I'm from the tribe of Judah. Like, niggas they making nigga songs, but still saying, oh, but I'm an Israelite. I'm from the tribe of Judah, you know.
That don't blend with this thing.
That don't go with this at all.
He gonna get a harsh judgment, man.
Yeah, man. That whole black thing, that's a philosophy, man.
Yeah.
And guess what? Your
Ain't no
enemy
truth to that.
gave you that philosophy.
Yeah.
All right, he created that stigma, man.
There's no truth in that.
All right, read that again.
This is Colossians 2:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahweh Shai.
Not after Yahweh Shai, man, but the rudiments of this world. Okay? The hell with this world, man. You know? Yeah, that was pretty much it. You had a quick brief. Yeah.
This is Isaiah 30, and we start at 9. Isaiah 30 and 9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits.
Yeah.
Jake, man, that's Jake.
Yeah.
Jake loved to be lied to, man. Because what's that saying, man? They rather hear the sweet lie than the bitter truth. You know? They rather the sweet lie than the bitter truth. You know? And in the time of I forget who said it, but in the age of universal deceit, speaking truth is a revolutionary act.
Yeah.
You know?
That's from Orwell.